And now, a reading from Reginald X. Shibler, the actor and author best known for his portrayal of the iconic and deeply emotionally resonant character, Jim Jam Flim Flam.
The Melee brain concerns itself with precision. It yearns for a world with a defined, finite set of rules. Luckily, such a world exists and fits onto a small 1.5 gigabyte disk. And as you absorb that data and seek to use it, the only tools at your disposal to do so are those two wonderful homes for your fingers, your hands. Thus, the MB is delighted. We have a narrow field of play and we navigate it via fine motor skills. Given what we know about the MB, how do we allow ourselves to maximize its singular potential? Well, I believe that my 16 years as the resident Melee Pro at my local country club qualified me to answer that question. Each summer, I would host our annual adult summer camp for aspiring Melee players. Most of these players are exactly what you would expect: middle-aged, professionally successful, but spiritually seeking more. Not much spice left as their marriages enter decade number 2, or God forbid, number 3. And no, before you ask, Hugs wasn't there, despite him being old and such. When I sat down on the first day for each player's initial evaluation last summer, one thing stood out to me over and over. These players f***ing sucked at Melee. Though they had a fully functional MB just like the rest of us, they simply did not have the ability to extract anything of value from it. Like a pocket of shale oil, but with no benevolent baron to suck it all out for us to enjoy. Their strategic thoughts were unfocused, and the neuromuscular connection to their fingers was more tenuous than a Tesla's tire's connection to the space between a highway's broken white lines. As I walked around the room, wooden ruler in hand, for measuring if their controllers were the right size, I observed a complete laissez-faire attitude from the players. An indiscriminate mashing of buttons occurred, with no concern for spacing or frame duration. Frankly, it made me feel sick to see the game insulted in such a manner, but I cast my disdain aside in favor of pure MB pragmatism. The only way to improve at Melee is to practice inputs over and over. This is what your northern hemisphere craves. It's nice to think about how you want to L-cancel, but if you don't press the trigger within the 7 frames before landing, then guess what, buddy? Your guy is f***ed. You must literally receive instruction on how to perform a task, and then you must repeat that task until it is second nature. And thus, I've devised a series of exercises in order to help you refine your skill. In this highly precise and defined world, this is just a sampling of that which will require your competence, and how to achieve it. Wave dashing. Grip your controller gently but firmly, like a baby bird that is platinum or indigo colored. As you press X or Y to jump, imagine that your control stick is an enemy of yours. Imagine their face. Your left thumb is pressed on their closed left eyelid. You are not gouging their eye out, you are simply sending a message. Press down and left or down and right at a 45-degree angle. You will scratch the eyelid, but not damage the cornea. Press the L or R trigger as soon as you hear their scream. Jump, cancel, up, smash. Okay, so basically, you're holding your controller, and with your left thumb, it's kind of like you're smudging the blood off your enemy's face so you can identify his corpse and confirm that it's not actually someone disguised as your enemy trying to trick you. This is your character running to the left or the right. When you get to the other character in the game, Melee, you quickly flick the blood upward off your left thumb, smashing up on the control stick, and then give a thumbs up with your right thumb, smashing up on the C stick, to confirm that it is indeed your deceased rival. Voila! Multi-shine. For this one, imagine that you are engaged in a brutal thumb war with your enemy. You are winning and you are using your left thumb to press down on his thumb, aka the control stick. You are wagering $1,000 on the outcome of this match. With your right thumb, you are rapidly counting $100 bills. You are doing this by sliding your thumb quickly from a top to bottom position, flinging the bills onto the floor. You raise your right thumb slightly and move it back upward to the center of the next bill, then repeat the process. This is your right thumb sliding down across the Y and then B button, then rapidly returning to the initial position. Eventually, this becomes a fluid cycle. You win $1,000, but unfortunately have to pick it up off of the disgusting floor, which is caked with a Pepsi that your inconsiderate enemy knocked over during the thumb war. No good deed goes unpunished, I guess. Tech chasing. Alright, so this one is more about placing yourself in the right state of mind for reacting quickly. Here's the scenario. You are an astronaut and you're locked out of your moon base. Your enemy had snuck aboard your rocket and is eating all of your space food and stuff while you slowly run out of oxygen in your little suit and clear helmet. You know that he has to eject his waste once per day via the waste pod, but will he use the western pod or the eastern pod? You must stand equidistant between the pods and react. If you can react quickly enough, you will be able to sprint, well, moon sprint, and dive into the empty pod as it retracts back into the base. Then you can Falcon Knee punch your opponent Falco, your enemy's face. Lastly, moonwalk. I don't know how to do this. Sorry. And so concludes the reading. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to learn more about the melee brain or its counterpart, the tennis brain, please log on to your computer or phone and look it up on the computer. Thank you.